Hey Barry,
Hey, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing all right on this soon to be rainy day.
Yeah, no, can't quite make up its mind yet.
I know at least they were saying it was supposed to rain all day, so it's kind of nice to get at least part of it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine. Well, it's still not bad out, and just take it as it comes. You know, Joe, how are you? You're muted, sir. You got it? There
Now
you.
I'm in.
Hey, there you go. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I brought along my nose, Barry.
Oh my.
That's part of my little nose work.
Gotcha.
It looks like Rudolph the reindeer.
I I hate to tell you that in my profession I've seen that more than once. You know? Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. Yeah,
They're
it's just one. Go ahead.
rather than do Mohs surgery on the nose, they're trying this cream that supposedly works, but it takes 6 weeks of this. So I'm wandering around. Somebody must think I've been either in a bar brawl or I've been drinking too much.
Well, today you can get by with that, you know. But yeah, no, yeah, I know the treat. I'm pretty positive I know the treatment you're on at this point.
It's
Just
called fluoro.
Uracil.
That is correct. Yes. It does quite a job on your skin.
Oh, it really does. I mean, you really have to kind of keep an eye on what you're doing, and whenever you use your hands or anything like that, just make sure you wash anything real well afterwards.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and just try to contain it as close as you can to the site. Oh, it's. I hate to say it, it's probably going to get a little nastier looking
Oh, yes.
once there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, just for a minute.
Hi, there's a salad in there with chicken.
Oh,
You want it? I didn't eat.
I did eat.
Huh?
But thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Tomorrow. And the HelloFresh came out, put it in the refrigerator.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Joe, if it gets too out of control, I've always, told people, do yourself a favor, make sure you take a picture and then send it off to your doc.
Yes. Yeah. And
yeah, if you're not sure.
The answer to that was do it every second night for a while, because it was really ugly looking. It was crusty.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look good. To me,
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah,
look
yeah.
good. But the doc said, this is great. This looks really good. And anyway.
I'm not going to go there.
Right.
He's right though. It really does look good. I mean, from my perspective, like I said, I've seen far more that's like, oh my God. How far in are you? Can I ask?
Halfway.
And you don't have to answer. I mean, we're kind of on a public channel.
Halfway.
Good. Good. Well, keep up the good work. All right. Well, we're going to see if the rest of my cherubs show today. I've got 2 people already out. Let me see here. Melissa Murphy said she was traveling today. Jacques is busy into another project, which is kind of like, I get it. It demands his attention and he can't get away from it. So we'll see what we get. Let me just see here. There we go. Well, it's just 1 o'clock, so we'll give people a few minutes. So I don't know, in the next month or two, we may actually be able to see each other in person. The
Yes,
Board of Selectmen returned to their hybrid meeting last night, but I'm kind of glad they were the first ones because I was there and they were having all types of technical issues. So it's
oh,
like, thank God that's not me having to have that straightened out. You know.
Barry, we haven't started this meeting, right, officially?
No, sir.
So I can raise an issue or
Oh,
two.
go right ahead. I mean, might as well fill in the minutes here.
I came across a paper that was accepted for being published in Addiction Research and Theory, of all things. And it says, does cannabis use in adolescents predict adult life success? A longitudinal study.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty interesting for people at a young age who use cannabis, but eventually stop. There is no difference between them and the rest of the folks. However, if they continue until they get into their 30s, there are some significant impacts on life success as defined by this paper. This is a lengthy paper. I mean, it's 16 pages. I haven't had a
Oh,
chance. I just got it. I haven't
that's
had a
not so
chance
bad.
to look at that in some detail.
Yeah, no, if it's in, even if it's in a Word form or PDF works for everyone. But yeah, I mean, if you want to share it, that's cool. But yeah,
I'll send it on to you.
yeah, no, I'd love. You've been sending some great stuff, by the way. Thank you very much.
Well, some of it's really interesting. The more you dig into it, the more interesting it gets.
Oh, and it really does, but for a lot of places, it's still what I'd term the Wild West out there.
It is the Wild West. There is no question about it. You look at what's going on state by state, it's nuts. The whole thing's crazy.
Well, they're
Everybody's-
all trying to, yeah, I mean, they're all trying to determine what the right thing is. Each state
Yes.
has its own take on it. Here you go. Depending upon who's running the ship in the state as well, too, is going to have a profound difference. And then, I think every one of them is trying to grapple with, the nightmare that is the federal government.
Yeah, this whole issue of banking, that needs to be straightened out. I mean, it's a business. Let them go to a bank with the money rather than whatever they're doing with the money nowadays.
They've tried to create, here I know they tried to create their own banking system. And I'm not sure how that's faring, but here we are again. Banks are FDIC secured. Federal government can't
Yes.
touch it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it really the linchpin here is for the DEA to reclassify it. And once they do that, it will change the entire spectrum and landscape of what's going on.
Yeah, it would help, but there are some comments I'm not going to make on the testing labs, but the shop your lab business is just completely insane.
Thank you. That one was very insightful. I really appreciate you sharing that. That was like, and I think I shared it back with the rest of the group. It was like, I had no idea. I thought the labs would have at least some type of state certification. I figured a lot of them were CLIA certified, but then all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, what's CLIA certification? We're back.
No.
We're back to the feds again.
No, CLIA certification does not involve those kind of laboratories. It's the same thing with the College of American Pathologists. They inspect a lot of laboratories, but not these laboratories. And the other one is COLA, the COLA organization.
Not familiar with them. I'm sorry.
COLA. It's Office Lab Accreditation.
Oh,
Those three are big ones. Those are the three big ones. Actually, the biggest is, there are four now. There's the Joint Commission, which does virtually all the hospitals in the country.
right. That I'm familiar with.
And then you have COLA that does physician office laboratories primarily. However,
Okay.
they just announced that they're going to be doing anatomic pathology labs besides clinical labs. And then there's the College of American Pathologists that does a lot of laboratories in the country, really big. And then there are a couple of other smaller ones
Yeah.
that are out there that do inspections and accreditation. We've bounced around with, we started with COLA because they used to do anatomic pathology labs, and then they stopped like, I don't know, 5-7 years ago. And got back into it. Then we switched to CAP, the College of American Pathologists, and that did not turn out to be too well. For us, they had a lot of problems internally. So we switched from them to the Joint Commission, and they've been very good.
Good, yeah.
Joint Commission. And when I look at the two laboratories that I looked at in Massachusetts that do marijuana testing, I mean, I've got some comments on those that aren't going on film.
Given that article that you sent me from Michigan, all of a sudden, I'm not surprised to hear you saying that. I really am not. I would have thought these things, especially from the state, would have been run on a whole different level than what they're being run on.
Yes, I agree.
That's horrifying. That's kind of like, oh, okay, let's set some loose criteria, give us money, and we'll just put a rubber stamp on it afterwards. And it's like, whoa,
it's like the level of pesticides. I just read I read something about that, the difference between the state of Washington and, I don't know if it was Minnesota or another state,
Yeah,
orders of magnitude difference in what's allowable.
yeah,
And somehow or other, that all has to get standardized.
yeah. I would expect it to have been standardized, but I hate to say it. It's probably, I think I sent you my email back saying it reminds me of what the pharmaceutical industry went through with their compounding labs.
Yes.
And all it took was a threshold of number of people suffering adverse events and dying, all of a sudden just changed that entire landscape around. And I mean, talk about the pendulum just swinging the other way.
Right.
All of a sudden, I mean, even just simple compounding that, we used to do was like, nope, got a problem with it. Got a problem with it. And it took them years to develop the standards, and it's still in process at this point. But I was pretty close to the central part of what was going on with that. I knew the people who were running that lab at the time. I got a few calls to have some advisories done with that, which was really interesting. And it was so close to home, it wasn't even funny. And what scares me is that the cannabis industry may be heading on that same set of railway tracks.
Yeah.
It's like, learn from the past here, boys and girls. Let's get a little serious about some things.
Yeah. Look, if I don't like your results, I'm going to go to the next lab next door and maybe their results are better. And you got to say, what? What are you talking about?
How can, yeah, I mean, that's the first question is like, okay, how can, short of how you standardize and calibrate the equipment,
Yes.
how can there be that latitude? There shouldn't be.
Can't be.
Well, I think we're close to, it's like, we don't have a quorum here. So
We don't
I'm
have
so
a
sorry.
quorum.
But hey, I'll talk to you at some point if you want to start the
We're
charge
going to
on
do
being
that. Yeah.
some type of certification level with things. It's like, okay, here we go.
Hey, Barry.
Hello.
Are you there? Seems like I lost my connection.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but just Barry is froze up.
Barry looks like he's frozen. Is this the real John Bartlett?
This is the real John Bartlett.
Hi, John.
How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm all right.
I remember the name very well because I was doing a lot of volunteer work for the Nantucket Basket Museum.
All right.
And you were kind enough to let us hold a big show out at your place.
Yeah, we Manny Dias got us involved in that.
Yes, he did. Right. And
Miss
you
it.
also do the garden club. They're very happy about that.
Yep, and that's gonna come back in person this year, we hope. So
Yes, it is definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
My wife is actively involved in trying to get that done.
Oh, good. Hopefully it'll be a success. It's always fun to see all the different types of stuff.
Yeah, some of those flowers are just unbelievable. It's like they were painted. They're so perfect.
Right. Hey, Barry, I don't know if I can ask about
Go ahead, shoot.
the town council information on licensing and stuff.
I'm gonna wind up sharing some information real shortly.
Mm-hmm.
I finally was able to have a meeting with town council on Tuesday. It was great. It was really insightful.
Mm-hmm.
She sent over some documents that I'm still trying to parse through at this point. It really boiled down to, I know we had talked about what kind of licenses were going to be linked to the number of
Retail establishments.
thank you, retail liquor establishments at this point, and it only holds for retail.
Right.
None of anything else it has different requirements, but it's not tied directly to that particular aspect of the town bylaw.
Right.
So, yeah, I will share those with you, just to kind of let you know what came out of it. But I'm still digesting that conversation. But it
Okay.
was worth it. It was worth its weight in gold. And she said, the woman who I talked to, Nicole, and her last name escapes me at the moment, but I will find it. Like I said, she was great, but she said, we should talk a little more often because the landscape keeps evolving.
Right.
Yeah, but that was kind of good news about that. At least in that sense. And she was good too, because she also covered a little bit about hemp products as well too, and how that's being viewed, who the regulatory agency is for that,
Right.
and some information, a little bit further information about that. I'm still trying to work out at the moment, but I will share those with you.
Okay, great.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, we've been, well, I have some hemp that I actually had processed, so I'm trying to work with a guy on the Cape. Since there's no inter ocean restrictions on hemp,
Correct. Yeah.
and trying to find some ways to get that packaged. We did some. I have some CBN and some CBG. Well, I don't have any CBN this year. I have some CBG and CBD. So
Okay.
we are going to do some CBN this coming season. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah. But yeah, it's just unfortunately the the regulations haven't really caught up or really providing for a lot of avenues to make product that you can, or at least I can comfortably be assured are actually legal to sell. So and that, with the FDA kind of holding on the sideline now, or waiting for future research, or I don't know exactly what they're waiting for, other than maybe trying to kill the industry before it gets started. But we'll see. We've been doing some small productions. So, but anyways, all right. Well, it was nice to chat, and I'll look for your emails with whatever you send out. And nice talking with you, Joe.
Good talking to you also, John.
All right, bye.
Yeah, so I'm going to end the meeting out here, Joe, if you're good. Sorry, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
So you're going to end the meeting?
I'm going to end the meeting. There's no one else, and so unfortunately, we for lack of quorum, there's nothing we can really do.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Can I raise a point or two if you have a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
This business of the number of marijuana establishments are limited to 20% of the liquor licenses.
Right.
After doing a lot of reading about all of this stuff, I would toss 20% out the window.
I think there's going to come a point where we have to do that, but the counterbalance to that is, how many retail marijuana establishments do you think would be viable here? That's
probably one, but that's okay. Let the economics take over. The thing that struck me as I was reading through all of this is, by limiting it to 2, we really created a monopoly.
We did.
And that's not right. That's my position on the 20%. I'd raise it or just eliminate it. And if 10 establishments want to get started in here, they'll all go out of business. That's life.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Just leave that open. The other thing is, we talked about a license or a permit to deliver product
Mhm.
delivery service. And I did some reading on that. And my position on that is if you, the establishment, want to deliver, that's fine. What we don't want is to have a middleman who's got their hands in it, because it just makes it a lot more complicated. If you're the establishment, you establish the customer. You have
Mhm.
information on the customer, you know what's going on. If you need a permit to deliver it from your establishment to the customer, that's fine. But you have to do the delivery, not an independent party that creates another mess of control.
Yeah, when I go through these documents, we'll talk a little bit further, because there really is two classes of delivery, which I didn't quite understand initially. There's an operator and a courier. And a courier is just what you think it is. It goes from point A to point B. And if it's run by either a retail establishment or it's independent unto itself, that's really all it can do. It's really nothing more than a,
Delivery,
and forgive me, it's going to sound crass, but it sounds like it's like a glorified taxi system,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
But that's one viable thing. The operator takes on a little more, which I was kind of surprised by, because apparently they can store marijuana, they can relabel it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they can outrightly purchase it and then do the delivery afterwards. So it really, it was like, wow. And I had no clue.
I didn't know that either. It sounds like a distributor. You buy it from one
It-
person, you repackage it perhaps, and then you go and sell it. That
It's so close to retail. It boggled my mind, but town council assured me that what it does, it doesn't trigger that 20% of so you don't need to necessarily have to deal with that particular part of the license. You still got to come to the town, still got to do a host agreement with the town, still have to be licensed by the state, and that's true of all these things.
yes.
But it removes one layer of the process. But that was an eye opener. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I did not come across, maybe I read through it and just didn't pay as much attention to it. I'll have to go back and take another look.
Yeah, well, like I said, I want to make sure I digest this information first from town council and then share it with you all, so that I just to make sure there's not like an oh my god moment in there. But town council was, it's tough for committees that aren't necessarily regulatory, like the Board of Selectmen, Conservation Commission, Planning Board. You've got to go through a hoop or two to get town council engaged. I can't just pick up the phone and call Coffman and Page and say, "Can I talk to the attorney?" And I get it. That's the town policy for dealing with things. So,
Okay, got it.
all right. Well, thank you, sir. Is there anything else?
No, that's all I have for right now.
You get a gold star and a cookie for the day for coming on in. We appreciate it.
All right, good
All right.
seeing
Hey,
you.
thanks again.
All right, bye now, Gary.
Bye-bye now. Have a
Bye,
good day.
Gary.